Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, by my friend, my podcast competitor.
Yeah, I guess.
Man who, like I said in the last episode, gets his card charged regularly. He's probably has warrants out for his arrest.
Do you need someone to take care of the incidentals in your hotel room? Would you go ahead and room with me, pal?
Yeah, exactly. A man, like I said, tent go getter. I didn't thank you enough for go getting the tent. I just told you to look out for my tent. I didn't tell you to go get it for me.
Found it, got it ready to squeeze out through the curtain.
I dug that.
Then you broke it.
And I broke it.
And I still folded it up.
And you still folded it up. You picked it up. And I go throw that fucking shit in the trash because it's done. So.
And you just got done talking about how it was a good work tent.
It was a good working tent. It had a good run.
You got your new one yet?
It's right behind you.
Oh shit! Same tent, same kind.
Yeah. Different tent. Similar kind. We'll see what the fuck happens, but we'll see what happens on this show when I'm here with Zane Riley, who has the weirdest introductions every time.
Every single time. We have full-on conversations about everything else, and then we remember, oh, by the way.
It hit a minute 15 before I had announced.
We're aiming for a hard 36, open to close today, guys.
Yeah, we're trying to get through this one as much as possible, but got a lot going on. This is gonna be a fun little one. It's just me and Zane today, so it's obviously pro wrestlers in the mainstream media.
And there's a shit ton here.
There most certainly is. We'll get into that very quickly, but I'm going to put right at the top, make it a priority, because the fans have been making it a priority, is the reviews, guys. Like I said, if you leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher and then DM us or email me at jake@sslshow.com, I will send you a free t-shirt if you give me your mailing address and your t-shirt size. Make sure you send me your t-shirt size. A lot of people just give me the mailing address. I need your t-shirt size. I'm not just going to randomly send you an extra large when you are 4X. No, I will get you a 4X t-shirt because I am very appreciative that you have left a review on iTunes and Stitcher. And we've been recording these back-to-back now. Yep. So, guys, if you've been sitting at the top of what the most recent listings of our reviews, you'll get mentioned for basically a month.
And chances are you could be wearing your How Did This Get Booked t-shirt while listening to this episode.
This is very true.
That we talk about you in.
And like some people have taken full advantage of it, most notably our Stitcher's champion, Sponge Cake 7. I mean, like I said, we're now recording a month's worth every month, so Sponge Cake, I have said your name probably now for 3 months now.
A shit ton.
A shit ton. And on iTunes, right now, Josh Strickland still at the top, because obviously the last podcast we recorded was a few minutes ago. Yeah. So Swerve,
literally minutes.
Swerve, thank you so much.
Still kicking ass, Bubba.
Still kicking ass, Josh Strickland.
You, my DZ, and Big Swole Ariel Monroe up there doing your great podcast, talking about how we're your favorite indie talent.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But also, too, I got to give a shout out to Pixel and Thoughts. I was supposed to give him a shout out on 10 Bell Pod.
Yeah.
You know, that other podcast that not done by a fucking traitor.
Yeah. You're that other podcast where you just get two brand new friends in here to take my place. Where me, I just do it solo.
In a room that I've now christened the Manning Cave.
Oh no. Jesus, fuck! Bye, guys.
Yeah, the Manning Cave.
The Manning Cave. You fucking.
Oh yeah,
shit.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
I'm gonna get you a sign for the outside of the door that says that.
The Manning Cave. But
man.
Pixel and Thoughts, Lopes, man. Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy. I was supposed to give you a shout out on 10 Bell Pod, but I figured I'd give you one on How Did This Get Booked, because basically on 10 Bell Pod we recorded 2.5 months worth of podcast, and I didn't give you a shout out at all, and you asked for a shout out, but you get one here today on probably one of our more popular episodes of How Did This Get Booked, because I think
this is a fucking amazing movie.
This is because it's a movie that I think a lot of people have seen. So sometimes if we discuss something that people haven't seen, as far as like pro wrestlers in the mainstream media or movies and stuff like that, people may avoid like, I didn't see that, or I haven't seen the whole episode, all the episodes of Glow yet.
Maybe I've never seen Baywatch before.
Yeah, all of those things. Like, you know, people are like, I'll come back to it. So sometimes these don't get a lot of traction, but I feel like this doesn't get a lot of traction today.
This was a big movie aside from there being wrestlers in it.
Exactly, and the movie we are discussing today is the remake of a far superior movie.
Well, calm down.
No, I think I'm on the right side of history on this one. we are discussing The Longest Yard, the 2005 edition, with the comedic genius known as Adam Sandler.
You fuck right he is.
13-year-old Jake Manning would agree with you.
Yep, and
36-year-old Jake Manning, he's on the fence about that.
34-year-old Zane Riley, still digging what 16-year-old Zane Riley was thinking.
32-year-old Jake Manning would be fucking irate that he's watching an Adam Sandler movie. 36-year-old Jake Manning is
gets
kind
the struggle now.
Well, not so much that he's given up on the struggle. He's just like, all right, I see Adam Sandler what he's worth. It's too hipster of me to hate on Adam Sandler. Yeah. It's just not worth my time. All right, I'll just go along with it. And that's kind of how I came into this one.
Kind of how we got this one going.
Yeah. Like, I just had to, if you would have asked me at the very beginning of this podcast to watch The Longest Yard, I would say, fuck no.
No, we're going to watch Wrestlers vs. Zombies, goddammit.
I have fucking, left the house when The Longest Yard is on. I've no, I'm not going to watch TV anymore.
No, I sold my TV, Zane. Can't do the podcast.
I can't do that, but actually, for this, believe it or not, to watch this, because it's not on a lot of streaming platforms. How did you watch this, actually?
Oh, I've seen this movie a ton of times.
Okay.
It used to be on Netflix a lot.
Yeah. I checked on Netflix. It's not on Netflix. Yeah, it's not on Hulu.
It's not
maybe by the time that you're listening to this, months, years from now, maybe it's on there right now. So go ahead and
maybe he's a president at the time that you're.
Yeah, maybe he is the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, maybe some time capsule bullshit happened, and they put our podcast in there. Just one episode, and it was this episode.
So we got to do a good job on this.
Which now that I think about it, I mean, we could also do The Waterboy because that had. We could just do a whole Adam Sandler thing.
We can't do The Waterboy. The Giant's only on that for 30 seconds.
Yeah, shush.
He's on there for 30 seconds. We got to do better than that.
Captain Insano disagrees.
Listen, I think we're on the bubble for doing the Shawn Michaels Baywatch episode. Because he had all of a minute of screen time.
Yeah.
But a Baywatch episode's about 47 minutes.
we could do MacGruber, which I don't know if you saw that or not. But I mean, it's got Chris Jericho, MVP, and Great Khali, but long enough to be seen and get blown up.
Okay.
They're in there for a total of 30 seconds.
Okay, I mean, MacGruber's on the fence as well.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's on
that
the
would
fence.
Be way worse than the amount of time that he's in The Waterboy.
But back to how I actually saw this, I should give a shout out to Vizart Video.
What?
Where my podcasting partner, not a murderous traitor of...
Yes, my other buddy that I do podcasts with.
My other buddy that I do podcasts with on 10 Bell Pod works at Vizart Video, and he hooked me up and got me a free rental for The Longest Yard. So I highly recommend that you go out to Vizart Video and tell them old Jake Manning sent you there. It's a mom and pop video rental place. It's the only one left in Charlotte. They also have an amazing theater in the back where I run comedy shows. So
other people run comedy shows there too.
And other people run comedy shows as well, and other people, all kinds of things.
Cutthroat motherfuckers. You're talking about me being traitorous. You got all these people.
I know. I am surrounded by traitors.
No, yep.
I am surrounded by traitors. That's part of my
Not one goddamn countryman on your side.
Not a single fucking one. But no, like I said, if you're ever in Charlotte, check out Vizart Video.
Yeah, it's a real rad video.
That's part of the reason why I was able to watch The Longest Yard, and I told them, don't worry, I don't need the full 5-day rental. I'm going to get this out of my house as quickly as fucking possible.
They're across the street. I ran it right back.
Exactly. I had a 24-hour drop box, so I dropped it right in immediately
right
as soon as I was done. But let me give you the particulars of The Longest Yard 2005.
It's great.
No.
That's on that particulars?
Oh, we will get into that. I have data supporting the opposite. But we will start with the fact that it was released on May 27th, 2005. It made $58 million on opening weekend and grossed in the United States $158 million. It was directed by Peter Siegel, who also directed 50 First Dates, The Get Smart with Steve Carell, also Naked Gun 33 and a Third, and Tommy Boy. He also directed 3 episodes of Shameless. I figured I'd give that a shout to you. So
it's a good show.
Now, as far as my evidence, according to Rotten Tomatoes, Longest Yard 2005 edition.
Yeah.
32%.
Oh, yeah? How much money did that thing make again? 158 million?
Yeah.
I don't call that a failure.
Well,
eat your fucking tomatoes.
Well, it's a failure compared to the original version of The Longest Yard, which has got 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
How much money did that thing make?
Not as much.
No!
But
so now we're just basing shit off Rotten Tomatoes?
But we are not. We're not taking into consideration inflation and movie ticket prices. The original Longest Yard, if you adjust for inflation, made $17 billion.
You're just making numbers up.
No, I was just doing the adding. Okay, I had to carry it. I had to carry a 2 in the head.
I took an alpha brain. I know what's going on here.
Exactly. The alpha brain just kicked in. Okay,
$17 billion.
$17 billion. That's how much the original Longest Yard made.
How many wrestlers were in that movie?
I don't think Ray Nitschke ever wrestled. But still,
but
$17
billion.
But there was one tough motherfucker in it,
yeah.
and his name was Burt fucking Reynolds.
Yeah, and it is crazy.
Yeah.
In this one too.
In this one as well, and that's probably the saving grace, and probably why it is as good as it is.
Whatever.
But let me
get there.
Let me give you some background that gives you an idea
baby.
why the original is the superior version. Okay, let's just go.
$17 billion.
And when I say that the original is the superior version, mostly, almost 100% of the reason for that is because Burt Reynolds is the fucking man.
Yeah.
And which is basically what's going to be for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Of this podcast. It's me explaining to you why Burt Reynolds is the fucking man.
Tell me about Gator, buddy.
Oh, I will tell you all about fucking Gator. All right. On set during the original, obviously I said Ray Nitschke, a former Packer, was one of the stars of the original Longest Yard. Ray Nitschke used to play this game called Kill the Star while filming scenes in this movie, which basically means tackle Burt Reynolds as hard as fucking possible, and Burt Reynolds just laughed it off every time. Another thing that Burt Reynolds did, another thing about the original is one of the extras in the originals was inmate Harold Morris, who later wrote a book because he was pardoned for his crimes, but he was an extra in The Longest Yard and actually had several stories about Burt Reynolds in filming at The Longest Yard in the particular prison he was locked up at. Mm. And Burt Reynolds would regularly, during meal breaks, would sit and visit with the prisoners, much against what the warden, everybody, the Hollywood executives, wardens, prison guards wanted him to do. He's like, no, I'm going to eat with these guys and hang out with them and hang out with the prisoners regularly. Also, too, there was a photographer on set that would regularly take pictures with Burt and the prisoners. And this photographer's like, hey, these pictures cost money. You guys owe me money for these pictures with Burt. And Burt's like, no. I will take care of all the costs and expenses for pictures, make sure these guys get whatever pictures they want with me. Mm-hmm. And if they want to take some extra pictures to send to their family members, I will take care of all of the costs. Also, too, there was a great story of one of the inmates going up to Burt Reynolds during the filming of The Longest Yard and said, hey, Burt, where do you live? And Burt replied, well, I got a house in California and Florida. To which that inmate said, no, what's your address? To which Burt said, why do you want to know my address? The inmate replied, because I actually want to rob somebody who actually has money for a change.
I hope he was like, oh, here you go.
To which I'm sure Burt replied, ha ha.
And gave him Dom DeLuise's address. Here's where you get done, right? Cannonball Run on the wall, okay?
Also, too, for Morris, he actually befriended Burt Reynolds during that time and sent multiple autograph pictures to multiple family members of Morris, and also made him a member of the Book of the Month Club to help entertain him through his time being incarcerated. So that's why fucking Burt Reynolds is the fucking man. And was
in the end of the remake. You trying to say he's a piece of shit in the remake?
No.
Is this where your basis is?
No, it's not my basis. And there's actually a really awesome story, which I will get to when we discuss it in the movie.
All right.
There's a really fucking awesome story that just cements Burt Reynolds. It'll. When I read the story, I'm like, okay, I could believe that. But then when I saw the actual moment in the movie, I'm like, oh, this sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
But then there's a small part of me like wants to believe this is true, much like I want to believe that Santa Claus is still real.
Yeah,
when we get to that part, we'll discuss it. Okay? And we'll discuss if it's real or not. I would like to believe that it's real.
Yes.
Okay, because it is on IMDb, and I would like to be treated as absolute fact.
As like an Encyclopedia Britannica or something told you.
But we do have an Encyclopedia Britannica of the amount of wrestlers that we have in this movie.
So many.
Let's go ahead and list them off right now. Then it's pretty much the whole reason why we are discussing this movie. We have Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's really committed to his performance.
Oh, yeah.
The Great Khali, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Bob Sapp. Also, too, in football players, we have Michael Irvin, Bill Romanowski, Brian Bosworth, and Terry Crews. He qualifies as that.
Sure
also,
does.
we have rap superstar Nelly, as well as certain members of D12.
Yeah, that's right. There's Bizarre sitting there on the bleachers. He's the one wearing the shower cap.
And apparently, one of the extras in the film was also Ricky Williams.
What does that mean?
He was a NFL running back.
Oh, okay.
He was a Texas Longhorn standout, I believe Heisman Trophy winner, Ricky Williams. People know what I'm talking about if you know football. But also, if you know comedy, you know that Joey fucking Diaz is in this movie. The scene-stealing Joey Diaz.
He just has a new stand-up bit on Netflix.
Yes, a fucking hilarious Joey Diaz. Uncle Joey. Also, too, I guess Rodney Carrington is in this movie as well. He's one of the guards. He's like almost more like an extra. He's just kind of in there.
Gotcha.
And of course,
other comedian. God damn it, it's just on top of my head. Tracy Morgan's in there.
Oh yeah, Tracy Morgan is one. Which that's really interesting because he plays one of the best way to put it is a prison bitch. Like, is that the politically
prison
correct
bitch
term?
Works, yeah.
Is that the politically correct term?
I think that's pretty PC.
Which is funny because Tracy Morgan got in some trouble for having an anti-gay bit.
Yeah.
In his act. So
ironic. Don't you think?
Extremely. But yeah, it's kind of the portrayal of homosexuals in this movie is seen as comic relief a little bit. So that doesn't quite age as well as it probably should.
A real good spot for like a John Leguizamo should have been in there somewhere.
Yeah, but we got Nicholas Turturro.
Yeah, same thing.
It's sometimes you get what you get.
We put all of our money on Burt Reynolds.
But we also have this amazing fucking actor in James Cromwell.
Yeah.
As the fucking warden.
Yep.
Which actually, one of the people they were pursuing to be the warden was Gary Oldman.
Wow.
That would have been incredible as well.
Hell yeah.
Especially if he got in the hallway with Captain Canower and he's like, I want you to send everyone. What do you mean everyone? Everyone! Oh, I love that. Also, too, from the original, Ed Lauder is actually in this movie. He's
Old
one of
man.
on the golf course.
Yeah.
About fucking his wife. He was the original Captain Canower. So...
all sorts of cameos.
All sorts of cameos, like everybody and their brother. There's a bunch more that I skipped over, but those are the most notable for what we're going to discuss today. But we're going to start right at the top of the discussion with an individual who's actually uncredited. But all I have to say about her is go Hawks.
Man.
Courtney Cox is so go Cyclones right now that
she's still smoking, brother.
Oh, Jesus. Like I'm going to be on a wrestling show with David Arquette this weekend.
Yeah?
And just...
It's going to give him shit for letting that go?
Yeah, like, dude, what the... I mean...
Did you not see her in The Longest Yard?
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
That's pretty much how I'm going to go up to him, man. And then he's like, man, Courtney...
Hey, Davey. So, Longest Yard this weekend, you're a fuck up.
Yeah, you're a fuck up. More so than Paul Cruz a fuck up in this. So, just let you know.
Ipto facto... Dookie or whatever your name was, and
it starts off with the party and Paul Crew is watching football.
Just wanted to watch some football, man.
Which is different than the original, where he's just in bed. And the beginning of this, which I appreciate them toning down the violence against women.
Yeah,
in this one, just kind of gently locks her in the closet, but.
Just Macho Man's her a little bit, not.
He just
he
just Miss Elizabeth her. Yeah, he didn't straight up. Every other female pro wrestler.
just beat the shit out of her.
I could say some names, but I'm not going to.
Catch that on our other podcast, Tin Bell Pod.
Yes.
Didn't give her the snooker. I mean,
there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Can we say? Is this allegedly? He's dead. Is he gonna sue us?
We don't want to commit slander, regardless.
Okay.
Either way,
Allegedly.
Let's say allegedly. Or probably.
Yeah.
Let's go probably. Probably. That's enough of
a doubt. She
gets
snooked. You better be thinking of Lucky Stars.
Yes, probably.
Probably.
But I gotta point out, did you see the outfit that she wanted him to wear for the party?
It doesn't stand out as to what would be.
Oh, it stood out to me.
Yeah?
Because it's fucking ridiculous. She wanted him to wear.
So like some like brown shoes with black pants.
Oh no! I would have been just as equally upset about it. She wanted him to wear a child's sailor outfit, like a Daffy Duck type thing.
Yeah,
with brown pants.
Wow.
Because they had the little flap in it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with the little hat. Like she's like, put this on. It was a child's little Dutch boy sailor outfit. That's what she told him to put on.
I mean, for Courtney Cox, I'd wear that. No, for Courtney Love, I'd wear that.
Well, that's the thing is like I was like, shouldn't she be telling him to put a suit on? But then like they're just throwing the most ridiculous outfit that's in the closet. It's like
she's worried about what her friends are going to think about him.
Yeah, she's just like. She just pulled out a Halloween costume and put on the bed, like, put this on. Like
what type of party is this?
I like, what the fuck is going on already?
Where's Rachel at?
Yeah.
Phoebe wouldn't stand for this.
Fucking Ross would wear that shit.
Oh yeah.
For
Ross
sure.
A little bit of a bitch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Joey. Well, he'd wear it, but it would be sexual.
Oh yeah, extremely sexual.
Run out at Chandler. I just say that one. I don't. That's the
Chandler would
one.
put it on, and then he would trip over something. And he'd be like, oh my god! I do something nuts.
It's all of my friends' knowledge.
That's it.
John Favreau was a UFC fighter.
You got him.
I got that.
You got all.
I'm buying a ring.
We also got them using Mr. Saturday Night Special, much like they do in the original.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, they played.
But not as cool as.
No, because they only played it for like 30 seconds. They played like 4 different songs.
Yeah.
In that fucking car chase.
It was a long ass car chase.
Well, not as long as the fucking original one. And see, this is my bone of contention, my friend. The fucking car chase scene.
Yeah.
In the original Longest Yard is the coolest fucking thing ever.
It is a cooler car chase.
God fucking damn is it. It is a fucking like just he's got that fucking drink and he sees the cops and he just fucking throws it over his fucking shoulder. Like that's how you run away from the that's how you run away from the cops. Like why fucking this Paul crew pulled over?
Yeah.
And like, hey, I'm a famous person. I'm drunk. I'm committing a law, and now I'm gonna run away. As opposed to just seeing them and go, I'm gonna try and get away so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah,
like that's just poor planning.
Yeah,
that is poor execution.
Exactly. Kill somebody.
Like just to make fun of the guy with the ears. You can do that on the back end because that's exactly what they do in the original.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, have you not learned anything from the past?
The fucking Burt Reynolds had a far better escape plan in the original movie.
Well, I mean, maybe it ran into him first.
Adam Sandler, not thinking logically, he just wanted to get Dan Patrick as a cop. Get a little shine time.
Get a little over.
So, don't know what his fucking endgame was. And I do like how the news report gave us all the exposition we need on who this Paul crew is.
Looking out the window up the copter. Oh, no.
But is that, like I said, is definitely an MTV movie where they put every fucking song that is contemporary at the time in this fucking movie.
Like Mr. Saturday Night Special?
Like they fucking put that, like... 1, 2, 3,
yeah.
Like they put that, and I think there's another. I think there's another fucking song in there. Like there's 3 songs in the car chase. Like a simple montage with one really good fucking song would suffice for a lot of this shit. But because it's an MTV movie, we'll put in 30 seconds of 3 different songs in this one montage.
I mean,
like there are 75 fucking songs in this movie.
Well, if we didn't play all of those, this movie would have been 35 minutes long. It would have just been the football game.
Or you could just like pick one fucking song that fucking means something, like Mr. Saturday Night Special, and just fucking play that in the car chase.
Yeah, well, Nelly didn't sing Mr. Saturday Night Special, now did he?
Well, maybe it is on the fucking soundtrack, all right? But I did like the end of the car chase where he hits a brake.
You ought to have done it now.
Yeah. So I do like that he fucking... The end of the car chase, I think, is a little bit better than the original where he puts it just in the fucking lake. Although that is fucking cool. Yeah. They're both cool. I get why we did the multiple car crash.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Smokey and the Bandit time.
Yeah.
So you're going to be real pissed off if Adam Sandler does a Smokey and the Bandit thing now? I'll see myself out, Jake.
Yeah,
I can tell. You guys couldn't see that. You probably could see that look from home.
You could feel that fucking look right now. If I swear to fucking Christ.
Don't you put that bad juju in the world.
Don't you say such fucking blasphemy in the Manning cave.
Get out. You go stand in the hallway now. Take this microphone in the hallway.
You can go to jail with fucking this Paul crew. How about that? With Bill Romanowski.
With all my prison bitches? Yeah, I'm in, man.
With Bill Romanowski and Brian Bosworth as the guards. Fucking, why don't you go to that fucking prison? Yeah. This is where they start just continuing to paint by the same exact numbers as the original.
Yeah.
The whole thing of, like, hey, same situation of come in and help get my semi-pro team, my prison guard league football team ready. Don't you do it. I'm going to say...
Is that a real thing? Like prison guard football leagues?
Might be. In Texas, I don't know. I mean, you know what they take for serious in Texas?
Fucking football.
And prison.
In prison.
So...
Guns.
Could be.
The N-word.
A lot. Yeah, big time on that one. But yeah, so... Just paint by the numbers, exactly the way the original movie goes. William Fincher is the Captain Canower in this, and William Fincher is actually a big fan of the Buffalo Bills and was the narrator for the 30 for 30 on the Buffalo Bills. And also, too, he did a really odd football life on the NFL Network about football leaving L.A.
What's odd about it?
Like he was writing a script for it's if you've seen The Football Life about the last days of football in LA with William Fincher in it, yeah, it's fucking weird. It's not as weird as fucking, or was it a timeline? It might be a timeline. It could be a timeline or it's a Football Life. It was a special on the NFL Network. It's not as weird as Charles Woodson's Football Life. That's fucking weird as shit. Because the motherfucker's looking directly down the barrel of the camera and talking to you, and it is fucking weird.
Right to your soul.
Yeah, it's not like an interview. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's not a documentary. It's fucked up. Like, it's probably the worst Football Life ever. So, but at least the one with the last days of football in LA was at least good, except for the William Fincher parts. It was fucking weird. It was weird. Also weird is the hornet's nest, that thing that spills out into the cafeteria. Is that a thing in prisons? I'm asking you.
Oh, because of all the time I spent in prison?
Well, you get the prison tattoos.
I do have prison tattoos. I have been to prison a few times. Actually, Zane's not even my real name.
Okay. All right.
It's Hot Pot. It's weird. I'd have to explain the whole story to you.
Well, okay. Yeah, all right, Hot Pot.
I mean, I would assume so.
How's Aria doing?
Oh, man, she's not good.
Okay, all right.
Kill that bitch. Don't talk about it.
All right.
All right, well, I gotta go, man. P.O. is out there. Somebody might be listening. I hope so.
I'd hope so. That's a good way to fucking settle situations.
Yeah. Oh, y'all boys want to fight? That's cool. Get it.
Yeah. And just the smile on Steve Austin's face when he just throws that out there.
He's like 2 seconds away from just like fingering his belly button while this shit's going down. If his bulletproof vest wasn't in the way, he'd be all up in that belly button.
Absolutely. I do like the casting of Chris Rock for Caretaker.
Yeah.
I like Caretaker in the original, but I gotta say, like, Chris Rock, just as good, even not a little better, because they're painting by the numbers a lot in this movie, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing the same tackling bag bit, they're still doing the same bit where they break out in a fight as opposed to running the play, but it's tagged by something that Chris Rock says that's funny. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll forgive you for that, because we got to this really good Chris Rock.
Got this liner in there.
Yeah, like I think he if anything, like, really bolsters up this movie, much like Burt Reynolds does, just his existence in this movie as well. But like the Chris Rock thing is pretty important. And of course, like I said, Burt Reynolds in this, he is the Nate Scarborough character
coming in from the shadows, just telling him what he's doing wrong.
I tell you what, that's when I start paying attention to this movie just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
No, start coming a little bit harder too.
Yeah, because the whole time before that, I'm like, fucking Adam Sandler, you ain't no fucking football player.
You ain't no shit.
Or fucking Burt, like 50, 60-year-old Burt Reynolds at this time, or like
Dreamboat.
Believe that motherfucker was a football player. Believe that.
He's killed people in this prison.
Oh yeah. We also get introduced to Great Khali.
Just loving some ping pong, man.
Just loving some ping pong. Great Khali, a man who has murdered another man before.
Oh, yeah. Probably in real life.
No, definitely in real life.
Oh, shit, really?
You didn't hear about this story?
Oh, man.
I
listen to your podcast.
He powerbombed a guy.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
Yeah. So,
Punjabi prison.
Yeah, exactly. He's in a regular prison.
Yeah.
He's in a Texas prison.
Yeah, you guys ever been to a Punjabi one?
We should ask him. We should ask him. Hey, what's the difference of a prison in Texas and a Punjabi prison? What's
Batista's in one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Goldberg's in the other.
Yeah.
Batista's in that one. Yeah.
So. Talent wise, we're about a fucking equal.
Yeah. Like, yeah, what would you rather have, like Goldberg in a shower scene in Texas, or would you like to have Batista in a Punjabi prison? That's a good question.
Get on that.
Yeah, and we get introduced to Goldberg in the shower.
Yeah, with his big old dick.
Yeah, they make a lot of big dick references. And see, from our interactions with Goldberg, like, we still haven't figured out if he's a cool dude or not.
No, he's equal parts cool as he is a piece of shit.
And that's the thing that, like, I think about with this. Like, did he, like, put in his contract, like, hey, you have to talk about how I have a big dick in this movie?
Yeah, like, would it be real funny if I had a big dick in this movie?
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
And someone laughed. He's like, but no, seriously.
Yeah, like, I feel like that was, like, if we talked to him about this movie, and be like, yeah, they made the whole thing about me having a big dick and stuff like that. And of course, like, you piece of shit.
Of course they
But
did.
then all of a sudden he would talk a few minutes later. I'm like, yeah, we'll see, my agent put that in the contract.
I wasn't really comfortable with it.
But I wasn't really comfortable with it. And also, too, like, I just broken up with, like, the person I was with, and he just wanted to make me feel good about myself. And then you're like, oh, goddamn it.
You're right back in.
I'm right back in. Because that's the way Goldberg was when we met him. They'd be like, one minute he'd say something super fucking douchey, and the next minute, like, oh, man, I got empathy for you.
Man, I hope they have a jiu-jitsu place around here. I broke all my toes rolling around earlier.
Oh,
man, me and Steiner were in Japan, man, and it was weird. Let me tell you stories about Japan. Fuck!
Oh, God damn
I'm so conflicted.
So conflicted about what the fuck you're saying. But one thing I'm not conflicted about, if Goldberg was in prison, he'd be the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
So let's make no...
if he was. We're not saying that he was.
Yeah.
Or is. We don't know what his personal preference or personal thoughts are on minorities.
Yeah, we don't know.
But in this context.
Oh, he would definitely be Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Which, at first I made a note that they kind of softened the racial aspect. Mm-hmm. But then they kind of came back to it. Yeah. Because, like, that was the big thing in the first one.
The guards were more racist than the people in the prisons.
Yeah. That's what I thought was funny. Like, there should be more division amongst the races, where they really covered that in the original one. Like, there was a hard line drawn in the sand for that, where I think they kind of softened that blow a little bit in this one. And they
probably want this to be a lot more accessible to, like, just kind of everybody.
But then they did bring it back around. Yeah. They definitely brought it back around that there was a division of some sort, but they didn't get a sense of, like, oh no! When you're in here,
Nazis over there.
Well, yeah, when we're in here, there's fucking Nazis over there, and you know, you got African Americans over here, you got the Latinos over here. Where in this movie, like, oh, we're all just mixed together, and we're just having a little.
We're all just fucking the same prison, bitches.
Yeah, we're all just, just that's how it is.
Shucks.
I do like how Michael Irvin is wearing a knit hat. Yeah. In every one of these scenes, and he's not sweating as much as he did on First Take a few weeks ago.
He did look real rough. I did see some pictures of that.
But yeah, not sweating as much. He's wearing a knit hat in
direct sun. This was filmed of Texas.
This was filmed in New Mexico, and he has a knit hat on.
Just loving it.
And just loving it, not sweating as much as he was on set of First Take. I fucking love that. And yeah, I don't understand why Terry Crews is always eating McDonald's, because you don't look like that by eating McDonald's.
Man, I love Terry Crews. He's amazing in everything.
Yeah. He's the one that told me about He's the one who told me about intermittent fasting. Yeah. So that's why I look as jacked as I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look kind of like you have cancer, but we'll call that jacked if you want, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
You look more like that.
Make-A-Wish kid?
Millionaire Buyers or Billionaire Buyers Club or whatever.
Oh yeah, I definitely look. I'm on the Matthew McConaughey diet for sure. But speaking of somebody who's on a regular diet of awesomeness, Nelly.
Oh,
listen,
Band-Aid and all.
Listen, that transition wasn't all that great.
It's fine, but it was about Nelly, though.
It was about Nelly. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the St. Lunatics, you're good to go.
But yeah, he plays the part of Megget.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who played him in the original. I'm drawing a blank, but he was a big crucial part, and they play into the same aspect of it too in this one. Like, this whole movie is paint by numbers.
Yeah, of course.
This movie runs.
They're not going to make anything better than that movie.
Obviously, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, my friend.
Fucking tomatoes.
It's an accurate source of information.
It's like IMDb for knowledge.
I love how Great Khali is subtitled on everything he says. Yeah. Because I wish I had that in real fucking life when I talk to him about my wrestling match with him that lasted all of 30 seconds and involved one wrestling move, a chop. Still didn't know what he was going to hit me with. Yep. Which was scary because he murdered a man.
Coming in hot. Did he say power bomb or chop? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I remember when I did Extra Talent work, since you have an Extra Talent podcast.
Oh.
And I was sitting with...
We'll talk about it sometime.
Well, we'll talk about it right here, right now.
Okay.
Let's do it right now.
All right.
All right.
Go.
I was sitting around with all the referees because I knew Charles Rapazza pretty well. I was sitting around and catering with the refs, and they were all talking, and they were talking about, like, Great Khali, like, wrestling one of the extras that night. And one of the referees goes, "Oh, are you one of the extras?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, where are you staying tonight?" And I was like, "Well, I'm probably going to go back home." He goes, "No, you're not. You're going to stay at Norfolk General Hospital if you're going to wrestle Great Khali."
Gotcha, bitch.
I think that was Jack. I think that was Jack Doan. I think Jack Jones came up with that one. So I think that was a good one.
Gave me the Burt Reynolds laugh.
Yeah. Oh, you gave me the Burt Reynolds laugh. Left. You know.
So I stayed in the hospital that evening, and
speaking of things that stay in the past, Stone Cold Steve Austin in a
we could
library.
just hop right into, like, you could just say the thing and not really work on the transition.
Oh
if you don't
no!
wanna.
People hit the subscribe button solely for the
For
transitions on
transitions.
this. Okay, so if you're not subscribing to this, and if you know friends that aren't subscribing to this, like, please subscribe. And you can delete these episodes right, like, as soon as they get downloaded, and that's
Honestly,
fine.
you just have to download them. You don't even have to listen.
Yeah. I mean, all I need you to do is just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
You just need the subscribes. Yeah. So that's all we want.
They'll automatically download.
And so now everybody's just tuning off, like, oh, we cannot listen to this anymore. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
there's so many people. There's so many people that feel obligated right now. And if you've gotten this far and you felt obligated to listen, I'm sorry.
You've done your due diligence.
You've done your due diligence.
If you've been here since the beginning, you've earned to take a couple of episodes.
Yeah, because I mean, nobody wants to listen to us talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin saying the N-word.
Everybody does
With the hardest R ever.
And then repeats it just to make sure you heard it right.
God damn, he committed to this. He fucking committed to this.
Does that offend you? Nah.
Oh,
Nelly keeping that cool head.
like, the racial overtones are stronger in the 2005 version than the original version.
In the movie where there's Nazis.
Yeah, in the movie it was Nazis, and like the racial aspect is much hard. And also too, you could say N-word a lot more back then and not be chastised, but they go for it.
No,
they go for it in this one.
This is just Stone Cold Steve Austin taking the mantle up on his own by himself
and just rolling off his tongue a little too smoothly.
Oh, like it was born there.
Oh yeah. Like
he created the fucking word.
Jesus, like he said it a time or two.
When he locked a lady into a closet. Allegedly. Probably.
Well, let's move right along.
All right.
Where do I want to go from here? Nash. I got some more Nash stuff, you know.
Yeah, our buddy.
I like how the cons start working against the prison guards and
give him the estrogen.
Yeah, like Nash just comically having a bottle labeled steroids in his locker, as if like that's how you get steroids.
That's how it comes.
It just says steroids in plain English in red letters on a white bottle.
That's fine. I mean, I drink light beer that just says light beer on it.
Yeah,
you gotta search hard for it. It's Kirkland brand. Oh, you Costco people, you'll know about it. But yeah, you can get that. Steroids,
and they switch it out with estrogen.
Yeah,
which basically sets up Nash being a scene stealer in this fucking movie.
Oh man,
like
him and his nips.
Like they're like, oh, we don't have enough written for Joey Diaz. Who's gonna carry the load for the last back half of this? And Kevin Nash is like, I got an idea.
Stop if you don't like funny.
Stop me if you don't want to make money.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm going to lactate out my fucking nipples.
Got an idea.
And I'm just going to cry at the drop of a hat. How about that?
Then I'm going to go on and do Magic Mike. So, I'm going to be rolling the P word here pretty soon.
Oh, speaking of crying at the drop of a hat and Magic Mike, Cloris Leachman is in here with Adam Sandler. Where they get the videotape.
Stab me in the fucking ear.
Hell
yeah, it's a good little scene though. I get a little dance with old lady, give her a little, not the cobwebs off.
I like the different direction they went compared to the original, because in the original they had Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
who was very go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks, especially in the Longest Yard version.
Yeah.
And of course, she hooked up with Paul Crew, Burt Reynolds in that one. I'm like, hey, all right, I'd like to see this. Go for a little bit.
I want to see this thing fold out.
And they're like, oh, no, let's go Cloris Leachman.
Let's go other end of the spectrum.
Let's go other end of the spectrum, and let's get super fucking weird with it.
And they did. And they showed it all.
And they did. They showed it all. They showed everything that happened.
Him just being a little cowboy with his football in his underwear.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had to get some homophobia in there to get a good laugh. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But also, too, let's get to the football game. And there was a moment, speaking of things that don't age well, and I don't understand why this was in there.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this, and if you didn't see the Sailor Boy outfit in the beginning,
yeah, they made it on.
I don't think you saw this shot, and this shot confused me.
Okay.
So let me kind of set the scene. I should have took like a timestamp.
That's fine.
But I'm very descriptive in the way that I describe things, so you'll understand what I mean. So they're going off site to play the football game.
Yes.
And they got the montage of them setting up the football stadium and putting the barbed wire up and everything like that. And then they show
for the inmates.
For the inmates, and then they show people going through security.
Uh-huh.
Did you notice when they were doing security and people were going through, they had security shots? Like they had like the particular shots of people coming through and getting the wand. They hung on one particular shot a little too long of a woman in a pink shirt.
Yeah.
And her head was cut off, like it was just boobs.
Just all tits?
Just all tits in a pink shirt, and they hung on that shot uncomfortably longer than they should have.
Okay.
That it just kind of hit me as like, why
can't her head be in that?
Yeah, why can't we see that this is a person other than just boobs in a pink shirt?
Maybe it's just their hard take on how they feel women are in this movie.
Like you always talk about, like that was the big thing about like movie posters of the headless women.
Yeah.
This shot made me think of that immediately.
This is their nod. This is their ode.
Yeah, I was just like, that's weird.
I think that.
I mean, I get not having the release for everybody because they did use they filmed this at a smaller college and they had a lot of college students.
Yeah.
But why do we got to pick out a woman with boobs going with a pink shirt and
you
just
don't want a woman with no boobs? Come on.
And just hanging on that shot for I don't know 15 seconds for some odd reason? It's
sat
weird
with you.
Yeah,
it was up in your craw a little odd.
A little bit. I was just like, we got to do this. Do we got to do this? Do we got to do this?
I guess we do. I mean, the only other women you've seen are prison bitches. So I mean, and Courtney Cox, but
yeah, but like we at least saw their faces. It just, I don't know. That shot just like hits me weird. Mm-hmm. You could have picked something else.
Not some Kurosawa shit going on over there.
Well, yeah, just the length that it like hung on there. Like they were just clearly like, hey, look at that girl with the fucking tits.
These titties, guys.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And
like weird revenge porn almost.
And I don't think I would have had such a problem if you would have shown her face. Mm-hmm. And I understand, like I said, I understand that you used college students to fill the people in there, so you might not have got full releases for everybody that was in that crowd. So there was a lot of extras, but at the same time, too, like the movie said, it's a big blockbuster.
Yeah.
So you should have had everybody signing releases. Like, why can't we see this woman's face? I don't know. That was like one of my bigger problems.
This is why this movie wasn't better than the original for you. It's part of it.
Part of it. It's real weird. It's really weird. Much like we have to talk about Goldberg's dick again.
Yeah. We're gonna have that proper size cup.
Yeah, proper size cup. Then of course I like when Michael Irvin and the rest of the inmates go over and they see the cheerleaders like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
and
the snipers. The guns.
Oh, that was a good bit. That was
real good. Yeah.
And guess what? You got to see all the women's faces.
Yep.
How about
Every
that?
one of them.
Every one of them. How about that? Nash super emotional. The referee who's not calling the game fairly.
Yeah.
That's when it
does all of Adam Sandler's.
Yep.
The Grandma's Boy and whatnot.
Grandma's Boy, Little Nicky, all those. I was like, oh, good. Sandler taking care of his friends.
All his buddies, yeah.
All his buddies.
Chris Rock's in there.
That's something you gotta say at least about Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like when he makes a movie, like I want all my friends in it because I want to spend time with my friends. I'm getting this money anyways. I want to spend it on my friends. Come do some light work. And
Come on, King of Queens guy whose name I always forget.
Oh, and we skipped over.
We skipped a good bit of stuff.
We did. We skipped. We skipped
the Warriors guy being a real big piece of shit and being a narc. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts is It's the Hispanic dude's name in the movie.
Nicholas Totoro.
Yeah, what is his name in there?
I don't
The constant joke about the gag about him being gay, and then they're watching football film, and they go off and they watch the football film of him going in the shower, and then fucking Warriors guy killing Caretaker.
I was gonna say we skipped over Caretaker's death, which they kind of did a fake out on that.
Yeah.
And when I saw the scene happening, I'm like, oh, please tell me they're not going to kill Caretaker in this one. Please let Caretaker survive in this one.
And then you're like, whew.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. And then you see like Chris Rock get shot into flames like Richard Pryor. And
it's uncalled for. It happened.
It happened. In real life.
Yeah. Well,
in real life.
Art imitating life.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Skipped a few things, but we got.
Yeah, we skipped. Well, we kind of make this a tight little episode.
Yeah,
we're hitting the high notes.
We went back and hit it though.
Hitting the high notes. I mean,
because that was because the whole point of them getting the New Jerseys and shit were something the Caretaker took care of right before he died.
Yes. So, but yeah, we're trying to make sure we hit the high points. There's not that many of them in this movie, so we'll make sure I get all of them.
It's a good movie.
That's what everybody says. When I said I would tell people like, I'm watching The Longest Yard 2005. People be like, that's a good movie. I go, fuck you.
Fuck
Get out.
you.
I've kicked so many people out of my house the last couple of days.
There's so many people standing in the hallway right now.
Yeah, there are so many people not allowed in the Manning Cave anymore.
Yeah.
So,
you guys have your membership cards and taken.
I will take that. But like back to the referee.
Yeah. Who's
Sandler's friend. I do like the change. Like I said, I like the change of Caretaker's death. You know, like the fake out, like because obviously everybody that's watching this probably saw the original and knows which the superior version is, especially at this moment in time. So and they're using a lot of the same bits, but sometimes the change of the bits, and like I said, Chris Rock tagging the things made it great. But some of the bits, most particularly this ref being the one getting the ball thrown at his nuts. In the original, it was one of the charging linebackers, one of the guards, get hit in the nuts multiple times. Now, in this, it was the referee to make sure he plays it fair. And it was a good bit. It's a good twist on the bit. It was a good little twist that I liked. I'm like, oh, this was a good change. This was a good rewrite. This was fun. This was a way not to repeat something exactly, but still incorporate something from the original, and it fits and it's interesting and it's unique. But in typical Adam Sandler fashion, and this is something that is a problem with his newer films. This is a problem with this film, and this is why it has the potential to being just as good as the original, but it's shit, particularly just like this, where you couldn't leave well enough alone. Great bit. You took something, you put your own little spin on it, made it equally as funny, if not more funny, than the original, and you made it your own fucking thing. You had this nice little thing, and you had a nice little speech like you're going to call it down the middle. Great. You nailed those lines, believed it. It was great. And then you just
tap him.
Fucking just give him a wet willy for no fucking reason. Like that's like, what the fuck are you like? You had a perfectly fine scene. This is typical fucking Adam Sandler, not knowing when to just fucking quit. You fucking had it. You nailed it. But you're like, wet willy. Like that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Sandler? He was perfectly fine.
And this is the whole basis of my
this is built on. This right here is fucking Exhibit A. This is Exhibit A. Why this has 32% and not 80%, 1% lower than the original. This specific moment right here.
You don't like people giving you wet willies, do you, Jake?
No.
You got some history with wet willies?
No, it'd be more of an eye phobia. If he was poking his eye, that'd be a different story. Which I wouldn't put it past fucking Sandler.
Yeah, after wet willy eye poke?
Yeah.
And then...
Typical Adam Sandler.
Fucking Sandler.
Fucking Steve Austin running and saying, "That's how a white boy does it." Like,
come on now. I like to think he threw that in himself.
I
like if they gave him a line, he's like, "That's not what I'd say."
I just get up. Like, let me say something racist.
I haven't said anything racist in a minute.
He did.
Can I say the N-word again? We'd prefer you not.
We prefer you
not.
Meet
you in the middle.
Come on. I'm just gonna get knocked down and have me shit my pants.
He shitted his pants.
Which apparently for television, this becomes more uncomfortable.
Okay.
They don't say he shit his pants. They say I think I broke his neck. Which, knowing Stone Cold Steve Austin's history, becomes a little bit more uncomfortable.
A little true to life.
Yeah, about as uncomfortable as Stone Cold Steve Austin saying the N-word a whole shitload of times.
That one seems more natural, though.
Yes.
That's digestible. I can understand that he would say that.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so Bob Sapp's great in this too. We haven't talked about Bob Sapp. So when I told somebody I was watching this, somebody was like, "Oh, Nash was great in it." Like, no, Bob Sapp. Love Bob Sapp.
He broke it in my nose.
Oh, just
he did it on purpose.
So lovable. I want to see him
apologize.
Which was a bit from the original, obviously. Yeah. But I could see more movies with Bob Sapp just being whatever the fuck Bob Sapp wants to be.
Whatever he wants to do.
Whatever the fuck he wants to do.
He's multi-talented. He's multi-dimensional.
He's multi-fucking talented. Bob Sapp. Fucking amazing. And obviously, much like the original, you get the whole crew turning on his players, back off on the players, doesn't back off on the players, and then the whole speech with the guy goes, "Was it worth it to punch the warden?" And he goes, "Every damn second."
But then we're back in. Then he gets fucking wrecked right away.
Which is exactly what this whole movie's about. Yeah. Is that you just don't want to conform to society.
Sometimes you just want to get real drunk and drive your car around.
Yeah, you don't want to follow the fucking rules. You know, if you see something unjust, or you just want to fucking do what's right, and you just do what's right. So no matter what the consequences are.
No matter what, we killed a family, or had to spend a couple more years in jail.
And then, of course, I do like that they called the timeout. He gave the whole speech. It was a good speech. Yeah. And just like, look, I fucked up. And that's the thing. Like Adam Sandler's good. He's good in this moment. But I'm surprised after this fucking speech,
because everybody
went well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there's a director's cut of him giving this great fucking speech, just pulling emotion out of people and doing a great fucking job. And I'm sold on this. And you were funny in it. You were entertaining and you were engaging. And then you just gave everybody fucking wet willies.
Just farted real loud on camera.
Like, you were fine. You could have left well enough alone. But
you didn't.
You didn't. You floated to your natural instinct. Also, during the football game, they do a lot of the split screen stuff, much like the original. Like this really is a paint by numbers, and I think that's why when people are like, "Oh, it's not a bad movie." I'm like,
because the first one was so good, and it's basically the first one just with different people.
Exactly, and even with some of the same people.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that there was 25 seconds left and they didn't clock the ball, like they didn't throw it down, like they should have got up to the line of scrimmage and clocked it, but they didn't. They just ran another play, which wouldn't have been feasible. Just saying. Also, too, this is where we see Rob Schneider's character. You
gotta get my boy in.
The You Can Do It.
Yeah.
Which is this in the same universe as Waterboy?
They all are.
There's a theory behind this?
Oh, brother. A man that knows all about rabbit holes doesn't know about this? You got like 4 or 5 hours?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Cut this off for a minute. I'm just kidding. YouTube it. YouTube Adam Sandler universe theory. And this guy breaks down how every Adam Sandler movie is in the exact same universe.
Okay.
And it's like 4 or 5 hours long.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Universe.
Gonna have to fucking.
Gonna have to now, brother.
I mean,
I should know about that.
I didn't know about
Rabbit
that.
Hole Man here. Yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, I was gonna ask, like, what do you think the fucking You Can Do It guy did to get into prison?
He ripped someone's freaking head off.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He knows that you can do it. You can rip someone's head off because he's done it, and then he got caught after.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That was a thing from Waterboy. Yeah, it'd be. Cause I was gonna say, was it meth? Was he selling guns illegally? Like
he definitely fucked something he shouldn't have. That's probably what also got him.
See, I was thinking like selling guns illegally, like the Ruby Ridge guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that whole thing. But instead of it being a standoff, he just like, all right, I'm done. Take me to prison. Like,
which I'm surprised there wasn't like a Bobby Boucher here somewhere.
Well, funny enough, the guard Papaton was actually the stunt double from the Waterboy.
Ah.
So. Comes full circle there.
Yep, same universe.
Holy shit. And speaking of holy shit moments, we get to see Burt Reynolds.
Take
Nate
fucking snap.
Nate Scarborough score a touchdown here. Now, this is the moment where I will share a story with you.
Okay. No, this is okay. All right.
This is the moment. This is according to IMDb, which I'm assuming is taken from an interview that was done as a presser for this movie. It might be a story from Ryan Bosworth, and if I find out this is a story that Ryan Bosworth told, I would say that it's probably not true.
Okay.
But if this is a story that Burt Reynolds told, I would believe it. Even if this is a story that Adam Sandler told, I would believe it.
As long as it wasn't Bosworth.
As long as it's not Bosworth. If you've seen his 30 for 30 before, maybe not the most factual, interesting. It's not as weird as the William Fisher thing. It's definitely not as weird as the Charles Woolson thing, but it's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there. According to the story that I read off of IMDb, that's online, is that
which is right next to Gospel.
Right next to Gospel. Like I said before,
Tomatoes.
Right up there with Rotten Tomatoes, which has scored this movie as a dismal 30-some-odd%, and the original as 81%. I've already forgotten what 30% it is, just because I don't fucking care.
Tell your goddamn story.
Okay, all right, I'll tell my story. So in the part where Nate Scarborough scores a touchdown in the 2005 version, which is played by Burt Reynolds, they were going to use a stunt double for that scene. And I read that story that they were supposed to use a stunt double, but Burt Reynolds said, "I got one more run left in me."
Fucking balls.
So instead of using a stunt double in that scene where he gets hit and
fucking rocked
and helicoptered around, which Brian Bosworth was the one doing the hitting.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like, Bosworth was like, "Man, this was so insistent on doing it," and he goes, he's got one more run left in him, and Boz was like freaking out about it, and Burt Reynolds was just like, "Come on, pussy."
Yeah. He just Mae Young'd him.
Yeah. Basically, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I read that story, but I didn't see this hit.
Yeah.
And that's when I seen this part where fucking helicopters around.
Yeah.
Holy shit, if that's fucking Burt Reynolds.
That's actually what killed him. So long later.
Yeah.
It was just onset from that.
Holy shit. Allegedly, but I'm even going to say probably. That is Burt Reynolds getting fucking helicoptered around by fucking Brian Bosworth. Or or maybe even better is fucking Boz like, "I'm not doing it." Have the fucking stunt actor do it.
Stunt actor do the hit instead.
Do the hit on Burt Reynolds because I don't want to be responsible for killing this man.
I'm not going to cripple Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Let the guy I was going to cripple do it.
Holy shit, if that's fucking Burt Reynolds in that's... I've already thought that Burt Reynolds was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And just the fucking heart of him from the stories I shared earlier. If this is fucking true, the man has a heart of gold, balls of steel, and he's the greatest fucking person that's ever walked the face of the earth. And I don't think anybody will fucking dispute me whether this fact that this story is real or not, but this story puts it over the goddamn edge.
This is the shit IMDb is made of.
They don't fucking make men like that anymore, Zane Riley.
They don't. They definitely do not.
They don't fucking make men like that anymore.
They definitely do not. You all right? You need a minute?
Sorry, I'm all right.
You want water?
I'm okay.
Right, we probably should go ahead and wrap it up here, but it looks like you're about to just keel over.
Okay, well, we're
there. I mean,
we're there. I mean,
they win.
Same thing. They win. Walk off. The threatening
tries to get the football.
Get the football. Which actually, in the original script for the original movie, Paul Crewe gets shot and dies.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna do it in this one. So there was a little bit of attention to that, and that wasn't the case. But they do the same exact beats, game ball, hey, put this in a trophy case, and then they just pour Gatorade on Cromwell.
And take it home like you're supposed to.
Take it home. Let's get the Nelly singing The Longest Yard, and credits.
Gone up and done it now.
So, but yeah, that's...
Welcome to football season.
Yeah.
That's why we did it. I don't think we ever talked about.
No, we didn't talk about exactly why we did this.
Yes.
It was
this is why this is relevant.
We're in the middle of football season right now. We're about ready to get into bowl season. So that's why we did this.
Yeah.
It was a fun little thing. We need,
It's good to talk about. It's some people have seen, so they'll be able to relate.
Yeah. A couple of little add-on stories that I didn't share. Like I highlighted some stuff that we talked throughout. Just some other trivia from obviously the most reliable source in the world, IMDb.
Brian Bosworth.
Yes, and Brian Bosworth autobiography. This movie was filmed in a closed-down part of the New Mexico State Penitentiary, which was called Old Main. which is where one of the worst prison riots in U.S. history occurred.
Probably why it's closed down.
In 1980. Also, too, Michael Irvin played a hilarious joke on Bill Romanowski. The part where Romo headbutted a locker and it collapsed. Well, there's one take where Michael Irvin made sure that they had an actual real locker and fucking Romanowski fucking headbutted a real ass fucking locker and has even more CTE than he had coming into this movie. Nice job.
That's actually the scene they used.
Yeah. Nice job, playmaker.
Yeah.
So
that man gonna shake on his own one day.
Not with all the fucking supplements that Romo's taking these days. The picture that Chris Rock shows of his mom is an actual picture of his actual mom.
Oh.
So we already discussed that. I think I got all of it. I think we're good. Like, I made sure to work in some of the other pieces of trivia knowledge. Zane Riley, how do you feel about this movie, and why do you feel it is so subpar compared to the original?
No, I'm not gonna. It's better than the original, but I mean, it's not. It's a very good movie, though. I think it's very funny and definitely works because there's a shit ton of wrestlers in it, and Stone Cold Steve Austin says the N-word. It's definitely not better than the original. I can admit that. Original was awesome.
That's all I've waited for for the past hour. I just wanted to do.
Fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck you and your 31, 32, 33%. It's at least a 70. At least a 70.
Am I supposed to back you up on that? Because that is toward terror that I will not back you up on. I will not stand on that island. I think it is accurately
I'll
placed.
die on this mountain alone.
I will accurately say that it is accurately placed.
Guys, you ever wondered why this podcast ended so abruptly? Why this friendship even just dissolved?
In fact, if they listed it at 27%, I'm like, okay,
that makes more sense.
That makes more sense. I'd be fine with that too. I have great love for the original. As a matter of fact, I think the original 81% ranking is a little fucking low.
It's a 93, if anything.
No. I believe it is a 17 billion %.
God damn it!
Because they're not taking consideration for inflation. So
they rated this as an 80 what? Well, sorry,
81%.
As an 81% back when it came out. On Rotten Tomatoes. So inflation 17 billion %. Everyone loved it. Best movie ever made. It didn't make $158 million. It made $17 billion.
Okay. Yeah.
You use that $17 billion to go fuck yourself.
That's where we feel about it. That's where we stand on it. That's where the hill will die on. But yeah.
Friendship dies on it.
Exactly. Well, things must come to an end, much like this podcast has come to an end. Zane, I'm not exactly sure when this comes out. It's not this Thursday. It's a Thursday after.
I think it's the one before WrestleCade. So I'll be at WrestleCade this coming week.
Yeah, I'll be there working my ass off, maybe being frustrated about something. But I think other people are going to do most of the heavy lifting. Yeah. I'm going to try and make sure that happens.
Make sure you're not lifting a whole bunch of anything.
Yeah, especially like old school Jake Manning would try and do a lot of the work, but new school Jake Manning is like, nah, I'm good.
Gonna hang out here and fuck around on my phone.
Especially since a couple weeks from now we will be at Louisville SuperCon.
Man, having the best time.
I will possibly be moderating a Jim Cornette Q&A panel, which will get interesting and weird very fast.
I will be Santa Claus.
That's what I heard. Yeah. I heard you will be that.
I will be a Santa Claus.
Also, too, I have a lot of comedy shows coming up, especially at the Evening Muse, Viz Art, Cabarrus Brewing Company. I basically just have monthly shows all the time at the Evening Muse, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you check that out on Twitter at ManScoutManning. You got anything else you got to plug? Are you digging through your phone?
No, you check out my other podcast that I do without Jake, where I don't have to worry so much about bad movies being thrown at me and being argued to death. But I've got about 17 billion listeners. It's my podcast called Extra Talented, a wrestling podcast.
Okay.
And actually, this past week, if you heard this, and it is the right week, you would have just heard Brian Hawks, the man that helps put on WrestleCade.
Okay.
He was in the tag team Apocalypto.
All right.
He proposed to Allison Kay, and that is what we talk about in the food, and then just his life running big ass wrestling conventions and how bullshit they are.
All right. I would totally agree with that. I also, too, am running another podcast that is 81% better than Zane Riley's called 10 Bell Pod with Nick Alexander and Micah Joseph Loving, where we discuss the life and times of professional wrestlers, even though the host likes to say the life and death because he's very morose. But they were probably in the middle of discussing Andre the Giant right now, and it airs on off weeks to How Did This Get Booked. So go ahead and just give that a subscribe, give that a like, do all those types of things.
Mine comes out every week because I'm, 17 billion times more committed to podcasting.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
How about that?
Please.
Okay. Maybe you'll take.
I'll see you in hell, Jake Manning.
Maybe you'll take that down by 30% in the future.
Fucking, I quit. I wish I had something to throw.
Well,
this has been another edition.
This has been another edition, but also to make sure when you leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, you'll get a free t-shirt. Make sure you get up with me at ManScoutManning on Twitter and Instagram, or email me at jake@sslshow.com. Make sure you holler at Don at Six Squirrel Studios if you want to make your podcast sound good or gooder, like John always does for us. SixSquirrelStudios.com. Also, make sure you log on to howdidthisgetbooked.com. Where you'll get more information about upcoming shows and everything else. Also, my own personal merch is there at howdidthisgetbooked.com under the merch tab. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Cashbox, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever podcasts are available. This has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo!